It's lunchtime. You walk into a room, pull out your lunch, and pull out your smartphone. As you're eating your lunch, you're skimming through your Facebook and Instagram feed, liking videos, sharing photos of your friends in your latest adventure, and sharing stories. At the end of the 20 minutes of your lunch, you stand up, walk out of the room, and realize that you hadn't talked to anyone in the room. Over the last decade, social media use has become so prevalent among the world today. And we're seeing, like this graph, that social media has become so common that almost everyone has it. But because so many people have it, we're also seeing a negative effect of social media. And that's with like this in this picture. People just become disconnected. They'd rather socialize via the internet rather than face to face. And this is something that is negatively affecting our society. Social media and high use can negatively affect our society, our brain, and our interpersonal relationships. According to CBS News, approximately 42% of all teens and youth have been cyberbullied or humiliated one way or another over the internet. Because of the amount of youth that have access to the internet 24/7 hours a day, they have access to others' information. And with that information, they can easily humiliate or degrade their peers using that information. Also, another problem is that explicit content is becoming so prevalent among social media, and youth are becoming desensitized to this content. And it's sad to see that many youth that think that this is just normal and that's part of life in this society today. And these are just a couple ways that social media has affected our society around us. Second, social media is affecting our brain. According to psychologists, they are recognizing a new disorder called the internet addiction disorder. Have you ever seen somebody who's almost literally glued to the screen, whether the TV, the computer, their smartphone, or tablet? Have you ever told a teen to put away their phone and not 5 minutes later they pulled it back out and are skimming through Facebook or playing their favorite video game? It's sad to see that many people are almost becoming glued to that screen. And because of the amount of social media we use, we can feel empty inside. And according to Dr. Bernard J. Luskin, these feelings can lead feelings of tremors, shivers, nausea, and even anxiety. Nicholas Carr, who wrote the book The Shallows, What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains, stated, "The internet is an interruption system. It seizes our attention only to scramble it." We're seeing that many people are having information overloads, meaning the more content they read in social media, the less they are able to recall that content. And as a Stanford study suggests that these people who have high social media content have a harder time switching between tasks and working efficiently. Lastly, social media is affecting our interpersonal relationships. According to Dr. Paul Booth of the University of Chicago, he says there's been a shift in the way we communicate. Rather than face-to-face interaction, we're tending to prefer mediated communication. We'd rather email than meet. We'd rather text than talk on the phone. He also states 3 issues that have come about because of social media. First, too many people are open about their social life via the internet rather than face-to-face. Second, our social connections have become weaker. In our normal relationship, we either grow or weaken over time. But in social media, it becomes stagnant, and our relationships don't change. And thirdly, because we choose who and when we talk to and what we talk about, we are getting less opinions about and viewpoints about the common discussions in the world today. Either way, communication face-to-face is so important in our society. If we lose that ability, we will lose the ability to have real relationships with people that we love and care about. In conclusion, I'm not saying not all social media is bad. Social media has its good benefits, but because of the high amount of social media use in the world today, we're seeing effects like cyberbullying and explicit content to youth. We can have information overloads and actually be addicted to the internet in some way or another. And because of our lack of face-to-face communications, our relationships are becoming weaker and weaker over time. Remember that for thousands of years, people were able to communicate without the internet and without social media. If they were to be able to do that for so long then, why can't we now?